Escape. Yeah, that is one of the paintings that has been made at the beginning of 2020 with that very gruesome event in America that started the Black Lives Matter movement. And actually, it did not really start the Black Lives Matter movement alone, solely. It also restarted the whole conversation worldwide about the injustice that is done against minorities. I say minorities. When I saw that, for me, that was like, what in the entire human nation is going on? I think for a lot of countries, and definitely also here in the Netherlands, it sparked up a conversation where people were just again remembered about the subtle, unspoken gruesomeness of discrimination, racism, repression, and just all the other atrocities that are connected to that particular event right there. The sad thing about it is it has happened before in history, right? We have seen this before. So where do we make the step to really learn from this and be open and honest about what is really going on? And for me, it had such a big impact because where do you go with that particular feeling? How do you talk about this? How do you still have that conversation with everyone about it? How do you have that conversation and get the message across with everyone, to everyone? That's hard. That's really hard. And that is something, I don't care at what side of the fence you are, it had an impact. It had an impact. And to see how it had an impact just worldwide, yeah. I mean, I'm still shaking from that. Still am. Because that is something that you don't forget. Yeah, you continue with your life, but you don't forget something like that. Not when you see it in this day and age, it like that. But then again, am I surprised that something like that could have happened? To be quite honest with you, no. Because there are still stories not being told, truths not being told the way that they are. And that's the issue in it. Hence my stance in my practice, in my art practice of telling stories and telling the stories that you don't see reflected and heard in society. So I think in that way it strengthened me to believe in that and to stand for it. It's not a popular one. No, it's not. But something that I do. I just do. So with Escape, yeah, she can see she's not really looking all too happy. I hope I was capable of still putting character in her face and in her demeanor. Of wanting to be proud of a flag, of a nation, wanting to be open and clear, hence the surroundings of her, the surroundings that she's standing in. But having this invisible yet visible bar where she is kind of standing out of, and getting this fake smiley on her chest because it's still a big issue just to tell the truth as it is. So that smiley actually tells the whole story of being unhappy. With the same situation that she's standing in, and as the way that I saw it, she's unhappy. She's silenced. She's forgotten, pushed over to the side. She's celebrated when it's time to, but can also be condemned when it's time to. So with her presence, she's actually showing, you know what, I am here. I will do my best to keep the peace, but I'm not happy. And that button represents that. So that was my way of searching for a way to express that, and also asking myself, well, how can I tell this story on canvas? You know, that was basically the whole story about it. So it's not one of the happiest stories, but how can it be? I mean, how can it be? It's not really a happy story. It still has an open ending. So yeah. The painting is 90 by 100 centimeters and it's an oil painting. Again, the canvases are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So yeah, let it just happen. Let it just happen. I think, you know, the thing about canvas is that it can be so intimidating when you start with it. It's empty. What do I put on it? But the more you do it, the more you start to understand that it doesn't want you to do anything else but to put on it what you want to put on it, just the story. And if it requires you to have a bigger canvas, then by all means, use a bigger canvas. If it requires you to have a small piece of paper that's this big, then do that. By all means, do that. So again, a bigger canvas per definition doesn't say that the art is better. You know, I have heard stories about people wanting to sell it in such a way or present it in such a way that it is better. Let me be the first one to tell you that doesn't say anything about the painting. Okay? If the artist requires that it needs space and a certain format to tell the story so that it's clear, then that is all it is. So it's not saying anything about, you know, the quality of the painting. And just for the painting, you know, this is what I chose. I didn't deliberately chose for this particular format either. You know, because I could have painted it on a smaller format. So it was basically something that I just took and started to paint on. But yeah, they are getting bigger and bigger though. The thing that I want people to take away from this is, you know, the first question, does history need to repeat itself? Do we still need to be in this position where we are silenced? You know, we sweep all the dirt underneath a rug, and we don't talk about it, we make it pretty, we construct all the things around it, but actually we're not happy. The button. We're not happy. So somewhere I do want the viewer to ask themselves the question, what are you doing about it? And you don't have to do this grandeur thing. I am not asking you to go out and change the world by yourself. You can, if you feel that if that's your mission, you can. And sometimes just doing what you can do is all you can do. And that is also good enough. Yet, I think we are living in a world where we get more and more and more aware of the fact that we all contribute and are part of and responsible for the outcome. It no longer becomes something that is done by them, or just us. It's all of us. So it can also be all of us in our own ways in which we are capable of making that change, of creating that change for yourself. I mean, you cannot force anybody to change. I can ask you the question, but I cannot force you to change. I cannot force you to go in conversation with other people about what is going on around you. Maybe the change is just making a better day, a better decision, have a better thought, think deeper, be more aware. Does it make sense? You know, sometimes it's just that. Sometimes it's just a smile, and just saying, hey, it's okay. I also believe this is a lesson, this is very personal. This is a lesson that I've learned recently. And that grace will get you far. That change can also come with grace. Allowing yourself to be freed from whatever judgment that is upon you, because with all the things that are happening and have happened at the beginning of 2020, there's a lot of judgment, a lot of judgment. And I cannot say that I'm not part of it. I'm part of it. I'm here on this planet. I'm part of it. But grace, taking away the judgment and being able to say, what is the next best step? And what can I learn from what has been done? And how do you make it better? That can really help you. It sounds really simple, but so hard. So that's just my personal note in that I hope you can take away from this.